Master of Sass, the Underworld. Cole let out a scream, clinging tightly to Irene, who was holding the reins on the earth dragon that they named Rocky. Your grip is too tight, Irene told him. Sorry, he replied, loosening his hold. Irene whooped as Rocky soared through the air alongside the other ninja and dragons. Kai had named the fire dragon Flame, Zane called the ice dragon Shard, and Jay named the lightning dragon Wisp. The others were cheering and laughing at the exhilarating feeling of flying on a dragon. Relax, Cole. Rocky and I won't let you fall, Irene soothed. This is awesome, Kai yelled. This is quite fun, Zane agreed. So how did the dragons cross over to the underworld? Cole shouted. I think we're about to find out, Kai yelled as the dragons dove toward the ground. As the boys yelled, Irene put her hands in the air and cheered. Scared that she would fall off, Cole reached around her and grabbed the reins. The dragons tucked their wings in and began spinning. A vortex appeared beneath them, and the dragons flew in. Is it over? Cole gasped, opening his eyes. Irene whooped. Just getting started, brother. I hope these dragons know what they're doing, Kai yelled as the dragons split off into different tunnels. The crystals lining the dimensional tunnels were glowing bright with various colors. We're speeding up. Hold on, Kai yelled. Irene closed her eyes and held the reins with one hand and Cole's arm with the other. The dragons came to a screeching halt, throwing them all off. Solid ground. We made it, Cole said, his voice echoing in the dark caves. We're actually in the underworld, Irene said. Don't die here, 'cause we won't take you back if you do. Quit sassing me for 1 second, Kai hissed. Sensei's inside, Zane said softly, pointing to the fortress. They're expecting us, Kai realized, taking note of the sheer number of skeletons swarming the place. A cart was pulled up to the entrance, and a couple of skeletons stopped it and commenced a ninja search. When they were done, the contents of the cart were scattered everywhere. Irene chuckled to herself. The ninja jumped from stalactite to stalactite above the skeletons. Kai accidentally knocked a chunk of rock loose, dropping it onto a skeleton's head. Fortunately, no one noticed. Irene heard Jade desperately try to warn her about something, but she couldn't make out what due to a sore throat. The stalactites she was clinging to had grown suspiciously thin, and she looked up. She was holding on to a giant spider. Irene was terrified of spiders. She shrieked, and they all dropped down. They hit the ground hard. If there are more than one ninja, is it ninjas or just ninja? Irene heard a skeleton say. I think it's just ninja, his buddy replied. Oh, okay then. Ninja! Screamed the first one. They got to their feet, and Irene put her hands on her sides. They were completely surrounded. She whimpered a bit when the giant spiders started to come down. I count 10 boneheads to every one of us, Cole said. I think I like these odds. Irene simply pointed out the spiders. Any bright ideas, guys? As they fought off the skeletons, Kai said, Any bright ideas? I'm still all ears. Jay tried to say something, but it was incoherent. Huh? Kai was confused. You feel a weird sensation? Cole guessed. Jay shook his head. You ate an odd crustacean? Zane tried. Jay shook his head no. Use your imagination? Irene said. Jay shook his head again. I got it, Kai cried. 2 natives on vacation. Tornado of creation, Jay yelled, finally getting his voice back. Oh, they all said. Welcome back, Zane said, patting Jay on the back. But it could lead to disastrous consequences, Cole pointed out. My element isn't even a part of it, Irene said. Well, we're going to make it work, because we're about to have a disastrous consequence, Kai exclaimed. Let's do this, Cole declared, spinning. Earth, fire, ice, lightning, illusion. Ninja, go! They all yelled as they combined their spinjitzu into the tornado of creation, pulling in just about everything in reach. Irene could feel the minds of her brothers and took hold of that feeling, holding one image in her mind, the thing they were going to create. They finally stopped and admired their handiwork. It was a giant Ferris wheel with all the skeletons locked up in it. Come on, there's no time to waste, Kai said. Running inside, the others quickly followed. They found Sensei Wu fighting Samukai. Wu had the Sword of Fire, and Samukai had the other golden weapons. Lord Garmadon was sitting on a throne at the far end of the room, watching it all with an evil smile. Irene, Cole, Jay, and Zane started forward to help, but Kai stopped them. No, he told them. This is Sensei's fight. Cole gave him a funny look and turned to Irene. She shrugged. Wu blasted fire at Samukai, who dodged it easily and retaliated by throwing the shurikens of ice at him and freezing the sword to the ground. As Sensei struggled to free it, Samukai used the nunchucks to send a lightning bolt at him. Wu barely managed to get out of the way in time. As the ninja watched, Jay was eating cotton candy. Irene stared. Where'd he get that? Kai elbowed him. Samukai managed to disarm Sensei Wu. Bring me the 4 weapons, Garmadon commanded in a voice that sent chills down Irene's spine. Samukai picked up the sword and turned to face him. No, you will obey me now, he said. Garmadon just started laughing. Irene shuddered at the sound. The weapons began to tremble in Samukai's grip. Wu quickly rejoined his students. No one can handle all of their power at once, he informed. Selfish fool, Garmadon said to Samukai. Did you think I wouldn't plan on your betrayal? Samukai was hovering in the air now. What's happening to me? He cried. You've fallen right into my master plan, Garmadon gloated. Not even I can handle all of their power, but now that they are combined, it'll create a vortex through space and time, allowing me to finally escape this ghastly place. With a scream, Samukai vanished, and the weapons fell to the ground. Garmadon stood and jumped over the gap in the ground, and a vortex appeared before him. Father would not want you to do this, brother, Wu pleaded. Father is no longer here, Garmadon retorted. The light from the vortex grew painfully bright, and Irene put a hand up to shield her eyes. Good and evil, there has always been a balance, Garmadon shouted. Where I go, the balance can be destroyed. Soon I will be strong enough to possess the 4 weapons so I may recreate the world in my image. He started toward the portal, then turned. You, he said, pointing at Wu. You were always his favorite. Then he vanished through the portal. He's gone, but he will return, Wu stated. Then we'll be ready for him, Kai declared as he and the guys retrieved their weapons. And keep an eye out in case he has any more of his evil plans, Cole added. Wu looked at them. Then I have done my part, he said. The balance has been restored. For now. Nia was waiting by the window for her brother and her best friend, the candle still burning. Then the candle suddenly blew out. Nia saw Kai and Flame land right outside. Kai, she cried, running to meet him. The others landed as the siblings embraced, and Irene immediately jumped off Rocky and hugged Nia too. Hey, my turn, Jay called, dismounting Wisp and running over. Nia laughed and gave him a hug. Kai glared at him, then shook his head and smiled. Irene snickered. Cole and Zane got off their dragons and the villagers were cheering. I'm so happy you're back, Nia said. For now, Kai muttered, but it's not over. Irene nodded. Lord Garmadon will return, and we'll be ready for him, Cole declared. All 5 ninja raised their weapons and slammed them together. A small explosion knocked them all off their feet. Okay, we gotta remember not to do that again, Kai said as they got back up. Good idea, Cole agreed. Yeah, we'll stick to high fives instead, Jay added. Agreed, Zane and Irene said in unison. They all laughed. Was that a joke? Zane asked Irene. Yes, brother, that was a joke, Irene replied, smiling. She couldn't wait to see what the future held for her and her friends.